Time for another tutorial, and this goes out to a wonderful subscriber that definitely wanted to see a demonstration on the hole punch pliers from Beadsmith. I just ordered these because I've been wanting to make, this is an example of earrings I just made yesterday. I've been wanting to make these bar links, and I had ordered drill bits from Dremel to drill the bits, and then I learned about this wonderful little handy dandy tool from Beadsmith that will punch a hole in if you hammer something out to, like, say about a 22 gauge, 24 gauge, obviously lighter than that will do it, and we'll punch a hole through it just like a hole puncher for paper. And so I went ahead and made some of these bar links, smaller versions, because I felt like not everybody's going to be wanting to wear these. This is pretty long. This is probably like 3.5 inches long, including with the ear wire. So I made some just short 1-inch pieces for a little bit shorter drop earring. I've also already, I'm going to put up a overlay of straightening little pieces of wire with two bench blocks. You can take 2 bench blocks and flatten out a wire. Then I also have already hammered these out. I went outside and hammered them out. All I can say about hammering it, how to do it, is you just need to do it. You need to practice and just get the feel of the hammer and what happens when you tap in certain places. I will say that being really directly over top of your bench block really helps, and not, you know, we're always working from the side like you're at a desk writing a letter, but it really helps to be right over top your bench block and get a good smack on whatever you're trying to hammer. I'm not expert either. I just started making jewelry at the beginning of the year, so I am learning a lot. I am learning not only about the jewelry, about making videos as well, and I appreciate you being here, commenting, liking, and subscribing. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate how this will work for these little pieces. So it does have this, if I can get it close enough and it will focus on that, it's got a sharp end to it. It's an angled end, I should say. And then it has a hole on the other end here, and then that's where it comes together and punches it. And you, depending on how thick, it will do thicker than, say, this. It's very thin. I've hammered these very thin. It will do thicker, and you adjust the gap with this pin right here. And so all the instructions are on the back of this package. It will tell you how to adjust it for how thick that you, a piece of metal, a wire that you've hammered out. It will tell you all how it works. Okay, so there is a little bit of a learning curve. I will say that even I went ahead and marked these. I can put an overlay with that. I went ahead and marked them already with a Sharpie marker to give me a little better idea of where I want to punch the hole. It's like getting your ears pierced, you know, they take that marker and mark your ear. So, but I will tell you that I had a lot of failures, because even though I'd mark it and I thought I was getting in the center, I'd pull it away and it was not in the center. So it's going to take some trial and error. I'm just going to try to go where I marked it. I'm sorry about that. It's really hard to show you what it's doing because it's such a tiny little spot that we're working here with. But I'm pretty much got it on top of that hole, and it works just like a hole punch. Just the hardest part, I think, is getting it back off this peg without, you know, bending what you just did. Let's see if I can gently, there we go. And there's a little piece that it punched. Isn't that cool? See, I was trying to eyeball it when I first started. I did find that once I started putting a little Sharpie mark, it helped. It was a learning curve, I will say. There we go. Let's do the other one. Super easy. I mean, with all the other pliers that we use in comparison, this doesn't involve much strength at all. You would think, wow, I'm punching through wire. This has got to be, or punching through metal, it's got to be difficult. It's not. I feel like this one is off. Is it off? Oh, no, I got it. Let's tweak that a little bit more. You've got a nice secure insert point for your jump ring or however else you want to attach this. Like right here, I went straight into the ear wire. No jump ring involved. Isn't that perfect? Cool. And I also had another question from a subscriber that why is it in copper and why do I use mostly copper in my demonstrations? And the reason is that copper is accessible to everybody. You can go practically to Lowe's or Home Depot and get some copper, and it's inexpensive. So that's the one reason why I do demonstrations with copper, because it's accessible and it's cheap, and you're not going to be wasting a lot of money if you pick up a roll of some copper. So that's why I demonstrate with copper, but I also do sterling silver, and any of these tutorials can be applied with sterling silver or gold filled or any type of other alloy wire that you would like to use. 20 gauge bail here. Jump ring wrapped around the 4mm step of our bail. And it just slips right in there. Just like anything else that you would use. And you can, or you could do, how about if you do one of those wire wrapped beads hanging on the end? I did want to mention this. The hole is a 1.5mm hole. That's what it punches. So you're left with 1.5mm. So as long as your wire is small enough to fit through the hole, and then depending on how wide you make this bulb on the end, then you would determine how big your jump ring needs to be. But these are wrapped around the 4mm just to span that gap, and it worked just fine. That's what I used here. Worked absolutely fine, even with this twisted wrap bail going through there. A lot of movement. A little tip regarding watching a YouTube tutorial that I have learned recently is that by accident, if you tap and hold the side of your screen here, tap and hold it, you will fast forward without skipping information, so you can kind of watch along at a hyper speed. So if you tap and hold, it will start speeding and you can watch without skipping and missing bits that you really didn't want to miss. Also, you can pinch in or pinch out to zoom in on what I'm doing. If you wanted to get a closer look, just pinch out, pinch in, right on your video that you're watching, if you're on a mobile device, of course. And I appreciate your being here, and I hope you got something out of this. I hope you pick up this really neat tool, not very expensive. It's going to be linked down below. And come on back around. Try for every Tuesday to have a tutorial that's going to help you in your jewelry journey. Thanks for being here.